Well, greetings to you today, and welcome to our daily Devo for Monday, the 26th of August today. Our devotion is entitled Conceit, and the Charles Dickens portion of this is from a work entitled The Mystery of Edwin Drood. I'm not sure we've been here before, but I guess we'll find out a new one if we haven't. The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Okay, Conceit is the title. And here's what's been selected for Mr. Dickens. I have been since, says Mr. Sapsea, with his legs stretched out and solemnly enjoying himself with the wine and the fire. A solitary mourner I have been, wasting my evening conversation on the desert air. I will not say that I have reproached myself, but there have been times when I have asked myself the question, what if her husband had been nearer on a level with her? If she had not had to look up quite so high, what might the stimulating action have been upon the liver? Confused, right? Mr. Jasper says, with an appearance of having fallen into dreadfully low spirits, that he supposes it was to be. We can only suppose so, sir, Mr. Sapsea coincides. Mr. Jasper murmurs assent. And now, Mr. Jasper, resumes the auctioneer, producing his scrap of manuscript. Mrs. Sapsea's monument having had full time to settle and dry, let me take your opinion, as a man of taste, on the inscription I have drawn out for it. The setting out of the lines requires to be followed with the eye, as well as the contents with the mind. Mr. Jasper, complying, sees and reads as follows. Ethelinda, reverential wife of Mr. Thomas Sapsea, auctioneer, valuer, estate agent, and of this city, whose knowledge of the world, though somewhat extensive, never brought him acquainted with a spirit more capable of looking up to him. Stranger, pause and ask thyself the question, canst thou do likewise? If not, with a blush retire. Wow. Headstone for your dead wife, and yet it's all about you. I guess that counts as conceit. Here's Gene Fisher's thoughts on this. Thomas Sapsea, again, strange names Dickens picked out. Maybe they were common back then, I don't know, but Sapsea is strange. Sapsea. Thomas Sapsea, the dull, arrogant auctioneer and mayor of Cloisterham, would not even put aside his sense of self-importance when writing the epitaph for his late wife's headstone. The words say little about her. Mostly they are self-praise, ending with an invitation challenging the reader to equal Mr. Sapsea's eminence. In Luke 18, verses 10 through 14, Jesus says, two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you. Wish I had robes on. I could stand here and hold them like this. God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector over here. I fast twice a week and give a tenth of all that I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified by God, or before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Conceit draws us away from people and, more importantly, away from God. Consider this: our lives are not about us or what we do to serve God, but rather about God and what he does for us. 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 and 7 say, "Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you," not exalt yourself, "that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you." There are a number of verses in the scriptures that tell us that God is opposed to the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. That's what the story that Mr. Dickens was writing seems to have been about, showing us the blindness of pride, blindness to others and their contributions and their goodness and even greatness. But we don't want to be eclipsed by other people when we have this pride, when we have this conceit that we think we're all that and people should be oohing and awing at us. Though all that kind of stuff, conceit, pride, God says, I love this parable or this story that he tells. I don't know that it's a parable. It could be real life. One guy's in the temple seeing himself as wonderful. God, you ought to, basically what this guy is saying here is, God, you should be impressed with me. I pray this often. I give this much. I'm not like these other people. And then to see another human being and say to God, I thank you that I'm not like that person. And it seems to me in the way Jesus tells this story, what that guy is being told is, no, you're not like this guy. He's better. He humbled himself. He recognizes his position in the presence of God. That he can't, the chutzpah of it really, right? Bragging about yourself in front, before God, like he should be going, wow, you're really wonderful. And there are some people in the world, this is reality. There are people in the world who think that. They think they're the best thing. They think God ought to be impressed with them. Everybody else should be impressed with me. Why not God? Conceit. You alienate yourself from other people when you act like that. You alienate yourself from God when we think like that. So let's humble ourselves. Let's always live with that mindset of humbling ourselves under the mighty hand of God and allow him to lift us up. Let him make that decision. Let him make that choice. And even when he does that, stay humble. Always humble under his mighty hand. Blessings to you today on this Monday.